Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch this. You have a lot of these types of videos that people make to try to help you, and I promise you this is worth your time. You've enrolled in a geology class, so let me talk about how face-to-face, blended, and online relate to one another. The content is exactly the same. The formats are the same minus one thing. If you're in face-to-face or blended, you get to see me in person. If you're online, you don't. In either way, the content is exactly the same. The assignments are exactly the same. One thing you should know is that classes that are science are lab sciences. There is one exception at MCC. Environmental science splits out their lecture and their lab courses. What that means is this. It means that you could enroll in a lecture separately from a lab. That's two different classes, and I think that's important to point out here because you are enrolled in a 1400 series class, which is a 3-hour lecture plus a 1-hour lab. That means you're taking 4 hours. So it'd be just like environmental science, taking it separately for lecture and lab. They're just married up together. Significant for this reason. Sometimes it may feel like you're taking two classes. You are, and the contact hours required by the state mandates that we have the same amount of contact hours for you in lecture and lab. So if you were meeting with me in a classroom, we would meet for 3 hours total for a week, and for lecture, and an additional 3 hours total a week for lab if it's a long semester. During summer, it's even more than that. So my point is this, you need to be investing at least 6 hours of time minimum for class, and that doesn't include homework and your other stuff. So I get it that you may be working, you may have a family, you may have a job that you own, a business. All of those things matter. So I'm going to tell you a quick story about how important it is that you budget your time. And remember, I've been to community college. I've been through a bachelor's program, a master's, and a doctoral. My first semester as a doctoral student in Thanksgiving timeframe, my mother got gravely ill and we put her on hospice. I spent the Christmas break in the hospital and taking care of her. But before the Christmas break, I had to finish my finals. And it meant that I had to reach out to my professors and I had to come up with a plan that was reasonable to demonstrate my knowledge and mastery of the content material. I didn't ask them to do that. I asked if my plan was satisfactory. Of course, they were kind enough to work with me. But the point is this, I had to be proactive, and so will you. So that's not the end of my story. Literally about 11 or 12 days later, after my mom died in January, my husband's brother was killed in a freak bicycle accident. And just a few months down the road on Good Friday, his dad passed away. So we had 3 deaths in the matter of just 3 months. And then we also had to endure doing an estate, dealing with the aftermath of any type of a death of a family member and all the affairs you deal with. Plus, I was still in a doctoral program. I was working full time, and I also have a side job. On top of that, I had to have surgery. So I'm hitting all the points in purpose because I have children, I have pets, I have a job, I have all these responsibilities, and I still had school. But I had to find a way to make it balance. Sometimes you need to evaluate your schedule and make sure that you have enough time to take care of yourself as a human being. And if that means you've taken on too much, you need to think about that now. I care about you as a human being and don't want that to happen. So I'm asking you to allocate enough time to get a 4-hour class done every week and the assignments that go with it. This is not an unreasonable load. It may feel like it, but it's the load that you would have if you were taking it at another institution. Communication matters, and I'm giving you an example of an email that I received from a student. And this is not uncommon to receive things like this when people are stressed. People are concerned. They feel like it should be obvious to the other person reading it what they are wanting. So I have a sideline number that's an instructor plan that you can text me on. Make sure you give me enough detail. Tell me who you are, what class you're in, provide screenshots when necessary. The same applies to email. But I'm serious, I got this. It says, don't understand this and question is wrong, please help me. I couldn't help the individual efficiently because I didn't have enough information. Never make assumptions. Provide the full name of your class. You're in earth science. You're on online physical geology. You're in historical geology. You're in the blended physical geology or environmental science. Be very clear what you're asking about. Provide a phone number that I can reach you so I can effectively get back in touch and get you the answers you deserve in a prompt manner. This course may or may not use a book and or materials, but let me clarify what does. If you have a class that does with me, it uses inclusive access, which means that the fee for the book was included in a fee that was attached to the price of the course. And you need to know that that means that you should be able to go get it from the bookstore. So physical geology students who are online, you'll have both a book and a rock kit. Those that are in my blended class, you're going to have a book only. Those of you who are in historical geology, you will have a digital book product that you will get from the bookstore. Those of you currently in earth science, you need to look at your instructor plan and it's clear what you need to do. Let's move on forward to the real important stuff about how to get your grades in this class. I want you getting grades that are in the A's, and the B's, and the C's. I don't like to see D's and F's at all. And the way I know that you can be successful is making sure you take your lecture quiz each and every week. Make sure that you complete your labs each and every week. Make sure you take the 2 major exams on time. Make sure that you set alarms for all semester. Set your phone to go off a day in advance with enough buffer time for you to get your quizzes done and your assignments turned in, and that you check your grades regularly, and that you use my office hours by Zoom. It's easy. You can just hop on. These are the things you need to do to stay on track. To be clear, your lecture quizzes are due on Fridays at 11:55 p.m. Your labs are due on Saturdays at 11:55 p.m. Your 2 major exams are due no later than 3 p.m. on the due dates that they are assigned. You can certainly get to them ahead of time, but that is the latest that they can be done. And the 3 p.m. reason is intentional because you want a good light on your face for the artificial intelligence agent that we use. And you need to make sure that all your hardware is working in software, and we have someone around to help if that's the problem. Let me say there could be an exception to that. Look at your instructor plan. If it's in the fall semester, the Tuesday of Thanksgiving, that's always a short week and all your assignments would be due early. In the spring, that typically doesn't happen. Sometimes in the summer that can. So make sure you're looking at your instructor plan and it's very clear there and in Brightspace. If for some reason they don't match up, the syllabus always prevails. Just let me know and I'll get it fixed. If you have technical difficulties, you need to be reaching out to the help desk. They're pretty prompt now and you need to get a ticket number, but I can't help you with hardware problems, software problems. That's something they can. You did sign up for a class, and now the minimum standard at MCC is to have a working computer with an internet connection. You need to be working on that. If you don't have those things, or you live in a place with spotty internet, that's going to be a problem for you. You need to make sure you have a webcam for your exams, because just like I'm recording here, the artificial intelligence agent that we use requires that you have that. I care about you and I want you to be successful, and that's why I'm sharing this information with you now. As I conclude, I just want to remind you that you're enrolled in a 4-hour science class. It is like taking a 3-hour lecture and a 1-hour lab. They still meet for the same amount of time. You need to think about what that looks like in your time frame and not try to budget in and assume that you can fit everything in with a busy life. You're gonna have to make time for this course and the others that you're enrolled in, and still find a way to balance it with your life and take care of yourself. I'm available to you all semester, and I want you to be successful. That starts with open communication, and please keep that line of communication open. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.